Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to Flying with Mike. We're a little low on the volume right now. My wife's on a call with a coworker, but we're going to kick off this stream right now. We are sitting on the ground in Concord, um, North Carolina. It's located about 50 or so miles northeast of Charlotte. It's a smaller airfield. Allegiant, the airline you see here, loves to fly out of these non-used airports. One for ease of time and getting in and out, and usually maybe a little cheaper. That part I don't know. That's just speculation on my part. But anyway, this is kind of a newer airport. They've just, here, let me zoom out a little. They've kind of, looks like, just created this terminal area down here, and it's all outdoor loading. So hopefully, maybe one day they'll get jetways in here. I don't know. I know Allegiant has their own way of loading from the outside, but it's just kind of nestled here, like I said, north and east of Charlotte. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get into the cockpit here. On this side, we do have the fuel truck hooked up and pumping us up with fuel. We'll get into the loadout here momentarily. So let's, where is Sim Toolkit hiding? There it is. And then once we finish with the pre-flight here, we'll get in, power up, do a preliminary power up, cockpit prep, go through the pre-flight, and get ourselves ready to go. Hopefully we'll be rolling out of here at 15:45Z. That's our scheduled time. We'll see if we can make it today. So load out for, well, first off, today's flight, again, Juliet, Quebec, I'm sorry, Kilo Julie at Quebec Fox. Wow, easy for you all to say, not me today, which is Concord Paget Regional Airport. And we're, like I said, heading to Eglin. In the chat room, you should see the routing. If not, you've got it right here across the top. It's the IPTAAY to CHOPS, to Atlanta, to Montgomery, Alabama, to Corky, in. One thing to note about Eglin today, or actually it's called Eglin Air Force Base, Destin-Fort Walton Beach, Florida. Yeah, there's a name tag for you. Um, they have thunderstorms right now in progress and some pretty heavy ones. We're going to get to see that here momentarily in a couple of different places. But so we got to keep that in mind. We've got planned runway 12. The winds were calm last I checked, but I'm sure they're changing every moment. So we'll keep an eyeball on that once we get airborne. uh, but for our destination here out of Concord, we're at 704 feet above sea level. We're going to be using runway 2, which is right here. Make a quick pushback to the south, taxi a short distance, turn around, take off. So it's pretty easy out of here. Heading is runway, for runway 2 is 16, and it's a 7,500 foot runway. All right, let me pick up that here real quick. That was not the live map I wanted to go to. There we go. That is going to probably be our squawk code that we just heard. I'm on POSCON. So web UI, yep, it is our squawk, so hang on. That is 2016. Let me put it in another spot. Oh, I don't have it here. Let's see, where's my clearance? 2016. Okay. All right, just want to have a couple areas with that in case I need it. Let me acknowledge that I got it. Roger. Okay, and okay, so new message. There we go. All right, just wanted to get that on here real quick written down. All right, so as you're looking at Sim Toolkit right now, you're seeing the route pretty much as far as Montgomery, and that's Mike Golf Mike. From there on, you can start seeing the thunderstorms. Let me pan out just a little bit. You can see this complex. If luck is on our side, the back end of this may be pushing through as we get there. We'll see. It's about a 2-hour flight right now. You're going to see why in a moment. Let me zoom down. All right, so let's head. Well, actually, we can do it all from here. What am I thinking? All right, so load sheet. Um, we're going to be we have 13,504 kilograms planned for a payload. That's 156 people and about 400 pounds of cargo. So the zero fuel weight will be 56,346 as you see here in kilograms again. We're uplifting 8,714 pounds or kilograms, sorry, of fuel. Live in the United States, folks. It's natural for us to say pounds. But anyway, that's what we're uploading. And then our CI for the day is 60. Now, I've kind of updated this a little. 28,000 is what they showed us flying the whole route at. And that's probably because of the winds. But I've got us going 28,000 out of here. And then at CHOPS, COHPZ, we're going to climb to 34,000. A little lower than most flights that I find with Allegiant. And the airport I work at, we have Allegiant. Generally, they're 37, 38,000, but of course, winds and weather will change that number. But on average, that's where they usually hover at. So, so expect that. I've got that actually in my flight plan. If you were to pull it up on POSCON, you'll see 28,000 out of Concord, CHOPS 34,000. So here is our loadout sheet. So now let's go to the actual flight plan real quick, and then we're going to get right into the checklists. Like I said, our cruise or CI, and what that is, it's a combination of what the company wants you fuel, to saving of fuel, to performance of the aircraft speed-wise, to a whole lot of factors that go in to make up this cost index. And we're going to run with 60, and that's what SimBrief automatically gave us. Usually it's like 2, 3, 4, or 5. I'm thankful they gave us 60. And the higher the number, the faster. The lower the number, the more fuel savings. Okay, so the air distance is 569, and here's the critical reason that it's going to take us close to 2 hours. The winds are out of the west, so it's a headwind for us generally at 80 knots. So we got a pretty brisk wind out there. All right. Again, zero fuel weight's 56,346 kilograms. Remember, we're in kilograms here. And then our here's our block fuel. Now we're going to run when we get to the MCDU, which is for the Boeing guys out there. That's the FMC for Airbus. We're going to run with a reserve of 3.5. Let me double check. I wrote that down. 3.5. Yes, I did. Okay. All right. And as you can see, if we do go to our alternate, which is Huntsville, Alabama, when we land and park, we should have 1,520 kilograms of fuel on board. That's our 45-minute reserve. We may not have our contingency here because we may burn that up in a hold, making our call whether we go in or not with the thunderstorms. Okay, so, and I've seen them do that here at Mid-America. We get sometimes some heavy fog in here and it looks great to us, but whatever information they're getting from the tower says, no. So in their hold, they make the decision to go somewhere. All right, so that wraps this up. We're just going to swing down a little bit. There's in case we go to Huntsville, we'll go to CEW, Montgomery, Buffalo, and go in. They're calling us up to 36,000, but I think it's a 280-mile run. No, we're going to probably make it barely to 24, 28, somewhere in there. So we'll see. We'll see how the plane performs if we have to go. Coming down, here's our times, and again, we're estimating 2 hours, 5 minutes. It's a scheduled 1 hour, 50-minute run. And then the weights break down, 156 people, so forth. All right, so that wraps it up. And one thing, well, we're not going to look at the charts. I thought about pulling the charts up. We will. I do want to look at one, our significant weather one. Okay, so here is our embedded CBs. Here's VPS. Here's Huntsville. Here's where we are. So you can see where that severe wind, this is what's making it a longer flight. You're looking at about 50, 100. Yeah, you're looking pretty brisk here, folks. That's 50, 60, 70, 80, 60. Yeah, that's a brisk jet stream running right along the route. And then here again, our thunderstorms we're concerned with. Turbulence outside of the thunderstorms, we're looking at moderate to 45. In the thunderstorms, they're not saying expected possibly moderate, light to moderate. This is light, I'm sorry. Misread. Misspoke, actually. All right, so that's going to wrap up our pre-flight, folks. Let me slide Sim Toolkit out of the way, and we'll press into getting this bird ready to go. All right, real quick, though, like I said, we got another view of what we have ahead of us. Let me just center us up. There's the thunderstorm complex, and we're going to about right here. So you can see we have a chance, maybe, maybe not, we'll see. But it looks like the roughest part of it is going through right now. So we'll kind of follow this as we go. So let me switch it off of that so it's not distracting. And let's get into the cockpit here. It is time to do our preliminary. We're cold and dark, so we'll just go through the whole checklist here, and hopefully within a half hour, we're rolling out of here. All right. So with that, let's start the preliminary cockpit prep, which starts with ground power is turned on. And you do that from this panel right here again, the EFB. Go to service, click your ground power, and I always put my chocks on. And then you can start going through these, like I'll have the stairs pulled up and the cargo guys pulled up and the fuel truck, so I can get all my numbers in there real quick. So, and what's highlighted, it's what's on there. Let me do that one more time. You can see the little belt loaders. We have the stairs up to the L1 door. Pretty heavy load today. And then there's the fuel truck. Okay, so let me just head on up. Oop, we don't want to go there first. I'm used to Boeing. Sorry, folks. Let's come down here first. First thing I want to do is make sure our throttles are zeroed. That doesn't look right. Hang on. Okay, they are. I thought they looked all the way back to the stop here. They're not. Okay, well, while we're in this view, we'll go from here. We want to make sure the thrust lever is at idle. It is. The engine masters are showing off. The mode selector is in the normal position. Flaps are 0. Parking brake on. And it did not, wait a minute. Speed brake in the disarm. So we'll, okay. It's all, for some reason, it always comes in at that position. I don't know why. Parking brake is on. Landing gear down. And one thing to check here, folks, if you're not sure, because you won't know easily up on the panel if the batteries are on or off. Usually, if there's no wording in it, they're on. However, in this case, they're not. Reason being, you do not see 3 green lights here. So there's no power at the moment. This could also have power. We'll show you in a moment what I mean. Come up here, wipers are off. And that's our preliminary check. So to power up, we'll just go on up. We hit battery 1, which now shows that battery 2 is off. And when we click battery 2, There's our 3 green. Now we're powered. Boom and boom. See how they're lit up. All right. And then we're going to establish electric power, or external power, so that we can continue. We're going to click that. The Christmas tree is going to light up. These are going to flash. There you go, folks. We have powered up the plane. One thing I do here, let's see, I'm going to go to 2 this time. Now, there's really no difference on nav 1, nav 2. Here's what happens. Okay. I'm going to do my best here, folks. Do this as quickly as possible. But I want you to see this. Come on, move. It's so slow. Okay. Here's the nav lights. There's nav 1, there's nav 2. All it is, it's the same daggum light, just 2 different locations. So if it's out here, switch to nav 2 and you don't have an MEL and in your strobe. But anyway, I just thought I'd throw that out there for you. It's a little tidbit I learned from an Airbus pilot learning some other things about the planes. So back up top here. So we've got the external power on, battery 1 and 2 on. So now we're going to do cockpit prep, which is basically the lights, overhead lights are set to where I want. Pedestal lights are set. And the floodlights are set. Okay, and you can see the MCDUs are fired up. As are all of our gauges. Everything's got power. So now is when we would go over to here and load the plane. I've already put, well, we're going to set it, 8,714 kilograms of fuel on the pack side. We've got 156 people boarded, set. Cargo side, 400, set. Now, they call pull them away. We're going to go ahead and leave things as is. When we get done with the overhead panel, I believe is a good break point to come back to that. Actually, when we get done with the MCDU and flight control. So just before pushback, we'll make sure everything's cleared out. All right. So pressing on, we're going to do the APU start now. First thing we do is a fire check. I wish I could keep that lit, but I, for some reason, can't find out. So we're going to go to, we're going to come down to this one because we're going to be going between 2 panels here. So let's do the APU master. That is located right here. Just turn it on. And by doing that, that's going to flip the ECAM to APU. We're looking for flap open. It's doing a bunch of checks right now. If you were to go right into open, you may miss something low on fluids. Flap open. And let's go ahead, turn it on. It'll take a few seconds to spool up. Once it's on, we'll turn off the ground power and go from there. So you can see it's spooling up right here, 45%. Here, I can zoom in a little more without having to pull the window out. And then you'll also know it's ready to go. It'll say APU avail, and it'll be up top too. And it's just about ready. Avail, avail, avail. Okay, so we're good to go. We can now come off internal power, or external power, sorry, my bad, and turn on the APU bleed. And if we want, disconnect. Okay, so that's one piece of the puzzle disconnected. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove the cargo guys and the fuel truck, but we're going to keep the egress available in case we have problems. And we're going to switch over to perf for follow-up checklists. All right, so now we push on to the actual pre-flight of the overhead panel, and then we're going to do the main and pedestal. So let's just put our attention up top here. First thing they want us to do is work with the ADRs. Let's work our way up. Flows work this way in Airbus, not this way like in Boeing. So as we go up, that can go off, and we could do a CDR check. These faults we can't turn off until the airplane knows where it's at. That's what these are for. Okay, so now let's go ahead, switch to nav number 1. We're going to see that flash, that go to align, and we're looking for on bat. And that basically says if we lose power, it'll work on the battery. Then we go to number 2, actually, which is over here, folks. They are out of order. And again, we're looking for on bat. There it is. And then number 3, same thing. It'll flash, align, and then on bat. Okay. And we can look up top. Okay. Now, coming down the next side, we start with the lights. So we've got our lights the way we want on the bottom. They say to go to auto with the strobes, so we'll go ahead and do that. Over to here, seatbelt signs, auto. My bad, clicked on the wrong spot. And no smoking on. Emergency lights, that's the switch to arm. That'll disable that light. Make sure your light switches are the way you want them. Now we don't need to turn probe heat or any of these on. They actually are automatically controlled, so we don't have to touch. We only need to make sure we're in auto for our landing elevation, which is 12 o'clock. Okay, moving up. Make sure your packs are set in auto, APU bleeds on. Set your temperatures. And usually I go a couple degrees past 12, couple clicks past 12 o'clock on the cabin for the people back there, and a couple to the left to cool it here in the cockpit. Okay, continuing on. Landing elevation is auto. Fuel pumps are going to be all turned on. Okay. And then we're going to do our engine checks. Okay. Now, if anyone is out there Airbus savvy, or especially Flight Factor Airbus savvy, if you could tell me how I could get it to where I can then go down and check that these fire lights light as with the, not side stick, the master cautions over here, and that it lights up on my eCam, I would sure appreciate it. So, but that right there, folks, gets us going. Now, radio number 3 is in VHF 3, which the little light, as you can see right, if you can see my mouse, it's right there. If not, it's right above VH3, a little dot. And that takes care of the overhead panel, but we're going to get these 2 as well and put this to 12 o'clock, just in case they put any furry critters down below. If they put any snakes, well, it wouldn't matter because they like cold weather anyway. All right, and again, the wipers are off. Okay, so let's come down to the middle. What we want to do here, make sure the anti-skid is on. That's this switch here. FMCs, scroll down just a little, they're both on. And that's weird because they're actually called MCDUs. But anyway, the FMCs are on. Radios 1 and 2 are set. Now, for POSCON, we're going to set 122 95, that is our Unicom or common traffic advisory frequency on the ground here, both Concord and Destin. Thank goodness. In flight, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Excuse me there, folks. Okay. Over here, we're going to set 122.95 again. And then the universal guard channel 121.5. That's where, you know, you've heard it where they go Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. They're usually on 121.5. Okay, and we got our frequency set. Now, big thing with the flight factor. I've noticed it's not a problem with Zebo with the GetHub Sparks 43 747. You do have to turn the mic on here. So find VHF1, click on it so that the green light comes on. Otherwise, you're not going to transmit. And that's the same for VATSIM, I've heard too. If you turn these on, they're hot mics to the ground crews, which in flight sim will be. All right, so, and then our transponder can now be set, which is just slightly down a little further, 02016. How about we clear it first? Okay. And we're in standby and auto. All right, folks, that wraps up the overhead panel, main panel, pedestal. What we have left now is getting that MCDU set up. So what we're going to do is pop up here to the MCDUs, and we're going to just start down. It starts where we're on the data. Make sure we got the correct engines, correct our nav data is in the correct dates, and then we're going to go to the initialization page. We're going to put our from and to in. Kilo, Juliet, Quebec, Fox, slash KV as in Victor, Papa, Sierra. No routes put in. It's not a long one. Now we're going to fly AAY. I don't know if they're going to use the same one or not. They haven't resumed the flights yet out of Concord. They will be here shortly, as everything I've seen on their website at Allegiant. So hopefully they do. We're going to go with that. Cost index is 60. $280. And let's align on reference, confirm, and that gets the ADIRS IRS's aligning. Okay, so let's click return. And we're going to just use the standard temp. I don't think I have that. Let me do a quick look here in Sim Toolkit. If I have that temp, I'll throw it in, but I don't see it. And if you all know where to find it on here or on the charts, by gosh, let me know again in the chat. I would love to be able to put that figure in. All right, so we've initialized, got the flight number, got the cost index. Okay, so now we're going to do a weight request. 57.5, let's make sure. Oh, did not. Oh, and our GPS is just aligned. So let's clear and clear. Sorry about that. Let's do that. And this way we can, okay, so 57. Oh, there we go. So 56.3, 27.8, 8.7. Yeah, it didn't set right, folks. And that's what I was looking for, and that's why we went that route. All right, so back over. Okay, so we've initialized with that. Now they tell us to go to the perf page. I'm going to the flight plan page. So out of our departure is still runway. Well, let's make sure things change. We all know that. 350 at 11. That's pretty doggone close to runway 2. All right, so runway 2. Esther, hang on a second. I've got a cheat sheet pulled up here. Esther 4, okay. There's our transition. Okay. Okay, there's what I was looking for. Going the wrong way, folks. The way they make a scroll here screws with my mind big time. Okay, so our next fix is CHOPS. C-H-O-P-Z. And that's Z as in Zulu. Plug that in. Everything's direct here, folks. Then we go to Atlanta. Okay, now I can tell you for sure it's this one because we're not in the Eastern Hemisphere, but let's double check. Go down to flight plan. I know you're not seeing this, folks. My apologies. 16.9 at 33 and 84 west. 16.9, 33, 84, boom. Next. MGM. Next. Corky. That's C-O-R-K-Y. I hate when they put them in a different format. Thinking it's the top one, but again, why they got to switch formats on us, I don't know. Oh, 36, 49, 4, 86, 30. That's the one. Believe it or not, that's how it actually showed up on my charting. Oh, it's too late now. I can't show it. All right, so now for Victor Papa Sierra. This is the challenging decision. Let's see currently if we have weather. We do. It's 130 at Niner. That's perfect for runway 12. That's what we're going to plan. Arrival. RNAV 12. There are okay, there is a transition here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is insert it, and that is, let's see, where will I find it? Nope, not there. Okay. Just a second here, folks. I'm just pulling up the spelling for it. Ruben Suave, okay. And it is HL Hilton. Okay. Hilton. Oh no, I spelt it wrong. TN. HILTN. Okay. So what I'm going to do now, before we and I accept the flight plan, is come up here, pull this out, switch to plan, lower it down. Actually 20 should be fine. Oop. And side by side here, just go through them. There we go. Looks good. All right, so we will now firm it up. Now the blue, just so y'all know, that's our missed approach. Already put in. Okay, so let's go back to here. I want to try something. Okay. And we'll see if that works. Otherwise, I know the other way to do it. So, okay, so we got the flight plan entered. So now we would potentially look at putting a secondary flight plan in. And we're running late like usual. Hang on, let me... Okay, so... Let's see. Okay, so let's go to the performance page. And 18,000. So we're going to first pull up our V speeds. 2. We're dry here. We don't need any ice. Let's do a weather update. ACARS. Okay. Now we're going to go to a website. Let me pull this up real quick. Just run through it, get my data for takeoff. We're A320, metric, kilo, Quebec Fox, get the METAR. Now, all the stuff I'm getting is saying a configuration 2 departure. Packs will be on. Anti-ice off. We're on a dry runway. Three. All right, so let me pull this website up. 56346. Mac 26.2. Whoop. 6. $74.02. And our flex. $60. Okay, so we got one. What do we got here? Try something here. Okay, so the site is telling me we're going to flex at 60. 144s are our takeoff speeds. Let me see if 0.005. That's good. Okay, so I did things right, it looks like. Okay, so we're going to slash up UP 0.5 60 and then okay, hang on. Transition altitude's 18,000 and we'll use the defaults. I'm going to double check, but I'm pretty sure he doesn't have that page. If he does, I would really be shocked. Nope, he doesn't. I didn't think the black box would. Okay, so we've got our takeoff data put in now. We have our arrival star, which we don't have, and we've checked for discontinuities. So we are going to do a next phase check here real quick. $18,000. Okay. Want to go to so different. There we go. All right, and there we go. Perfect page. That's what I want up. All right, so there we go, folks. We are loaded. My acres program came up with some different information. Optimum on, off. Okay. So that, folks, brings us up to the pushback, which is right now, folks, we are only 5 minutes late. So, hallelujah. We're going to do one thing here. I got to set my ACARS program to save. Just want to verify. Whoops. Meant to hit sounds. Copilot. Oops. Did not do what I wanted for. Save. And start. Alright, so the ACARS is running now for Millennium Aviation Company. Let me just drop down here real quick. I like to verify things. There we are, pre-flight. All right. And finally, there's our flight plan. I'm going to go ahead and tell them, let's close her up. Okay, and what we'll do from here is hop out. The only thing left to go are chocks. Looks like all the other equipment has been pulled. Yeah, we're in the building right now. And then, yeah, everything's out. And let's hop back up. So let's do the flight control unit real quick, and then we'll call for the pushback. All right, so QNH. Is 2986. Okay, and they're both set. FDs are both lit. Nav select on arc. Range set to 20. Constraints selected. Auto thrust is on. And 28. Okay, so there we go. Well, yeah, we'll just do it that way. All right, folks, we are to the point of setting our departure brief. So, and then we'll get right into pushback. So, of course, for the departure brief, I've done a lot of things with Sim Toolkit today that you all haven't gotten a chance to see, but we're going to get that up here, and hang on a second. And slide that over. All right, so you're looking at Sim Toolkit here. We're on NavGraph. The weather real quick again, I'll just throw it in the chat to make it easy. There you go. So we've got a wind of 350 at 11, and it's 19 degrees out there, and there's our QNH of 2986. So, like I said, we're going to be using 122.95, which is odd. They do show common traffic advisory different here, but we go by POSCON standards. We're parked down here at the passenger terminal, right off of taxiway Alpha. At gate 2, and for the departure, now it's primarily set up for Charlotte, but here's how close we are to Charlotte, just to let you, if this is to scale, doubt it. We're good on our takeoff minimums. For the departure out of Paget Regional, that's where we're at, runway 2. We're going to climb on a heading of 16 to 2200 feet, and then climb on heading assigned by ATC. We'll expect vectors to GEN, Juliet, India, Triple N, then on to Esther, then on to IPT, which is our transition. That's right here. That's down here in the lower left-hand corner. Maintain 3000. Expect 10 minutes after departure, flight level 280, which, if we don't have ATC, we won't set anything up for that. We'll just direct climb to 28,000. And yes, the top altitude is 3,000. Again, 10 minutes after we take off, we go to 28,000. So that runs us through that. And again, real quick, frequency-wise, 122.95. unless center comes on. Transition is 18,000, and we're required to have our DME IRUs, which we have on the plane GPS RNAV1 turbojets only. We fill all those categories. And that's there's our airport, so it serves this airport as well. Minimum altitude to worry about within Charlotte is 3,900 feet. However, we have 4,500 feet to the south of us, and I don't see any others to the east, so I'm going to say we'll stick with 39. Once we get out the circle here for 5, runway 5, I don't know which one, I guess that's this one. We're at 7,700 feet and so forth. Okay, so there you go, folks. That is our departure brief out of here. And let me put this back on our flight summary page. And as you can see that, let me just, yeah, that rain's still down there. So, and we got some now starting to form here on the front range of the Smokies. So, well, we're going to be getting out of here at a pretty decent time. We may go to a wet runway here soon. All right, so let's slide Sim Toolkit out. And across the top, we now have the overlay for Sim Toolkit. Let me take a look at that here real quick. Looks like something's missing. Oh, no, it's there. Okay, I got everything I want on there. We're still the only ones here. And, well, that's weird. Oh well, took our flight plan away for some reason. I don't know. But anyway, folks, we're ready to go. So let's get the pushback coming. Make sure all doors are closed again. And they're closed, supply. And let's get that pushback on its way.
Ground to cockpit, please show me where you want to go. Ground to cockpit, tow is driving up.
All right, so we got that going. All doors are closed. We're going to take a look again outside. Once the tug is in, we'll have him pull the chocks. I've been told they'll pull on their own, so I'm going to see if that happens. I don't see the tug yet. Let's try this angle. There he is. Somebody told me they should go away. So we're just kind of watching. Okay, and we have the ACARS program running.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
And there they went. I'll be doggone. That was pretty cool. All right, so get the beacons on. Better pushback is just about finished. And we're ready to push back, folks. We are 10 minutes late.
So connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Okay, last thing I'm going to do is zero our trim. Parking brake released.
Starting pushback, and you may start engines.
Okay, let's let them push us out of the gates here a little bit before we start. But what we're going to do, we're going to move over to this side, make it easier. Let's go ahead and go to everything on to start. And we are ready to start with engine number 2. Let's see how we look. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start. So what we'll do, it's a very simple process in the Airbus, is we just basically turn the engine number 2 to start. Numbers are slowly coming up here. That's weird, we don't see an oil pressure. And she is firing. When this is not grayed out, or you see if you see a veil, the engine start process is over, you can start the other. But this is grayed out means it's in progress. Okay, and there's the avail.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Okay, brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
We're starting number 1 while he disconnects. Okay, so once we have both engines started, we'll turn the bleed off for the APU. Packs, make sure they're on, and then we'll turn the APU off. And then we'll move into the before taxi checklist. So let me, while we're waiting, okay. There we go, folks. I'm going to leave that up over on this side. And there's a veil.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the right. We'll see you next time and have a great flight.
And thanks for flying with Mike. And what we just did is move the back to normal. Come over to this side. And what we're waiting on, actually I'll just do it from here because I think it moves a little quicker. I want to make sure we see the pin. As one guy said, show me the pin. There it is, holding the pin up. All right, so I thought these two moved separately. Wow. Okay, we'll leave it like that then. Wow, I didn't know that. Okay, so we are now ready for the before start or before taxi checklist. So what that entails is we turn the runway lights and nose lights on. That'll come next. Nav and logo lights are already on. Brake fans to on. Brake fan switch is right next to the gear. 3 green. Auto brakes max. That's in case of a rejected takeoff. Weather radar on. Spoilers armed, and all we do here, let me switch to a different view to make that easier, is make sure we just pull it up so you see the white. That's armed. Flaps, now they call 1, we go 2. Double checking here, compute. Yep, flaps 2. Yeah, oh well, speeds are a little different. That's fine between the two. Parking brake off and taxi to the runway. Okay, let me just signal that we see the pin. Okay, takeoff runway, what is it called? Runway lights on the nose gear, and now the taxi light on. And Concord Regional Mac Air 572 taxi runway, or to runway 2 via taxiway Alpha. Okay, so let's pull the parking brake. And we're already on the move. And we can kill the APU now. Bleed first, then the master. And let's take a look outside. Now, one thing, I'm going to test something here. One guy told me if, when you're taxiing, you line it up just shy. Whoop, got a little too. Okay, that was a brake check. But if you line it up so your center line, you got a bar between the nav display and the PFD. There's a separator in between. If you put it on that, you're pretty close to center. We're going to test it. Pretty doggone close. He's right. So anyway, gives you an idea if you're using the Airbus here. All right, so we are coming up to hold short. Didn't really get a chance to do much for the during taxi. Come on, make the turn. Don't be a... We'll set the brake here. Okay, so takeoff check, as he liked to call it, the Airbus test. And you're going to be seeing everything checked to make sure we're good for takeoff, and that one should go normal, and it did. Cabin is ready. Got that signal. Packs 1 and 2 on. Landing lights on. Those lights on taxi right now. We've already got our transponder set for TARA. Real quick, at the runway brief, we're on 122.95 for common traffic. V speeds are 144 V1, 144, 144 VR, for V2. We're trimmed up. No, we're not. Stand by. Okay, get the trim set here first. There we are, trim 5. Left, and it centers. Right, and it centers. Okay. All right. We didn't do that at the gate like I usually like to. Trim is set to 5 up, 0.5 up. Transponder, TO lights, we're ready to go. Okay, we'll go ahead and bring up the taxi light only. That's fun. I turned the beacon on, or the wing lights on instead of the beacon. All right, folks, let's take off. And Concord traffic, Mac Air 572, departing runway 2. As soon as I line up, I'm going to switch frequencies, so I'm in the air frequency before. Okay, so there we go there. Let's make sure the strobes are
approaching 02.
Really don't know best practices here. Okay, go ahead and turn for the runway. reason I say I don't know best practices, I'm a Boeing guy, folks, not an Airbus guy, so a lot to learn still.
On runway 02.
Okay. Now we are lined up, so we're cleared for takeoff, so let's make sure all landing lights are up. Okay. All right, so now, as you all may or may not know about this aircraft, let me just kind of expand
On
this
runway
out.
02. On runway 02.
Okay, it's moving. Anyway, the throttle is notched. So what we're going to do is bring it up to 50%, which is right here, and then we're going to just go straight to flex takeoff. All right, so lights are on. Here we go. Little down push on the stick. Okay, 80 knots, and we are mad throttle. Okay.
V1, rotate.
Okay, we just kind of follow it and gear up.
Gear up.
Okay. Go ahead and make our turn. And since it's yelling at us for level climb, thrust climb. Flaps are coming up. Okay, let's do the after takeoff. So we got we're in climb. Nose light can come off. We'll turn them all off at 10,000. Flaps are at 0 now and confirmed. Spoilers disarmed. And I'm just going to do a second check. I thought so. Brake fans can go off. All right, folks, we are on our way. And I'm going to swing out our All right, see if it goes on.
feet.
Okay, well the 10,000 foot call came, and that means we turn our lights off. And that'll be all of these. Anti-ice, we're not below 10, and at 18,000 we'll do our standard. I'm really hoping it goes direct here soon. Okay, so we are in our climb, folks, on our way to stormy Destin, Florida, and we'll try to get this thing on track here as best we can. I don't like that it doesn't tell me what I'm doing wrong. Managed. Okay, and I am going to go ahead and direct climb on up to 34.
18,000 feet.
And then go to standard. All right, so everything is cabin altitudes up to 4,100 feet. We're climbing and temperatures look good. So here we come, and oh, it just grabbed it. Good deal. Okay, I thought the dot would mean that, but there's the 34,000 for managed climb all the way up. And we are on our way, folks. We'll keep an eye on this. We're going to kick the music back on. And well, we'll start off. I kind of like that song we started with today, so we'll run with it again. And we're estimating by MAC Air terms being, oh, our flight plan just popped up. Good deal. On POSCON, and MAC Air shows us 1 hour out. We'll hope for the best on this landing. So we'll see you then, folks, at top of climb. All right, folks, I'm back with you. Sorry for that break there of about 15 or so minutes. We have reached top of climb. Checklist calls for seatbelts to go to auto. Cabin temperatures, I've done, as you saw, a full check of our systems. Everything's good and green. Folks, we are on our way. Let's see here. According to MAC Air, actually according to Sim Toolkit, we are 44 minutes away. So we're going to do a arrival brief here real quick. and get us set up for our arrival into the good old Destin area. Coming down to the MCDU. Top of descent's 176 miles out, and we are 287 miles out of Destin. The arrival procedures for Destin, as you can see on our map here, you can't see it yet because I forgot to bring it over. Hang on a second, and all right, there we go. So as you can see, we're reaching chops. This is where we needed to be at 34,000. We are. We are on frequency 12345 as POSCON requests. Atlanta's next, Montgomery, Corky, and then we make our arrival off the Hilton transition into Destin, Florida. The thunderstorms are pushing out, so we should have, we'll see, but we should have a fairly decent arrival as we look at the radar here. And bear with me a second here. Come on, there we go. Here and over here on the EFB. We'll update here real quick. This is about the area we're coming into, so things are looking up. So let's come back up and down to the MCDU and get Sim Toolkit back up here for us. All right. So there's our departure. Let me get that, and that'll set us up there. For the arrival, like we've said, we're coming in on the RNAV 12 approach to Destin. We'll take a look at the airfield here in a moment, but it is a joint use airport. Eglin Air Force Base, for those of you in the military, very big. One of the big testing bases, Special Ops. Hurlburt's not far away where Special Ops Command is, and some test bases that the Army used to use up in the military operating areas. All right, so we are along the coast, so you're going to see some of the ocean as we come in. But our basic thing we're going to be doing here, once we get somewhere between Corky and Hilton, we'll switch over to the local frequency there for Destin, 122.9 or 5. Then we'll proceed in. So from Hilton, let's just kind of zoom it a little bit. These are the frequencies that are normally available there. It's an RNAV approach, so there is no frequency that's automatically dialing in the airplane. Our final approach course from Reuben to the runway is 120. Now, our minimum safe altitude is SWAV at 1,700 feet. That is also when we should start our 2.95 degree glide slope in. There probably isn't a glide slope, folks. We're doing this pretty much by hand to the 1.3 where we missed approach if we have to. Okay, the LNAV MDA is 540. Just putting that down because we'll have to put that in the MCDU. Airport elevation is 84 feet above sea level. Threshold for the runway is also 84. If we call missed approach, we're going to climb straight ahead to 1,600 feet and proceed out to intersection Jeep and hold. This approach does require DME RNIP of at least 0.3. I'm sorry, 0.3, not authorized. Procedure not usable at times due to restricted area activity. We'll see. That won't play into on the flight sim. So what we're doing, we're going to come into Corky from Montgomery, and then we're going to go direct Hilton, Hiltn. From Hilton, it's 8 miles to Reuben, and then we enter the straight in for runway 12. Reuben is 2,000 feet, SWAV 1,700 feet. That is where we got to be at 1,700 feet by there. Otherwise, we have to go around. To maintain that 2.95 degree glide path, these are what we'll descend at speed-wise. So if we're coming in at 140, we'll just say we would have to at least maintain 730 feet a minute. So, and right now I am just building my arrival package here, just making sure winds currently. Instead of saying it, let me show it. Asterisk METAR KVPS. Oh, why did it do that? There we go. So there you go. You got it in the chat room as well, folks. It's 150 at 11. Got 4 miles rain, drizzle. Broken at 500 feet, 900 feet. Overcast. That is as of right now. We'll see how that progresses as we get closer. Tower visibility is 1.5 miles. Lightning distant east and south of the airfield. West and pressure falling rapidly. So the thunderstorms must have been on the airfield when reported. So back to the information here. So we're going to try to achieve anywhere from 731 feet a minute to 835, depending on what speed we use for the approach. And just bear with me here. No. Okay. Getting my landing data here real quick. Okay, so not even the right altimeter. Hang on a second, that doesn't even look right. Oh yeah, it is. Okay, for some reason I misread that. Okay, so there we go, folks. There's what we have to do. Now let's push down to these minimums. RVR of 55 or 1 3/8. So let's take a look. At the METAR, we're showing 4 miles, so we got that beat. The overcast part, that kind of, we're above that, so we're good. Barely, but we are above it. They're showing 500. They don't show an RVR. I don't know why. They must not have the equipment on that runway is all I can assume. Okay, so we are, as of right now, we're above minimum, so we can come in. Okay, so we're making the turn towards Atlanta. I just saw the shades moving. Okay, so there you go, folks, for our arrival there. Once we get on the ground, hang on a second. Hate it when it does this. Let me get re-signed in. Been doing this ever since I got Flight Factor. Okay, so airport. Okay. So once we get on the ground here, we're going to try to come off at Fox. We'll see if I'm actually able to. If not, we'll come off at Victor and taxi way back on hotel. And, you know, I haven't looked where Allegiant parks, but we'll come in on Delta 2 and find a spot. So there you go, folks, with the arrival brief. So let's get over here now. We are now 123 miles out. Let me pull this away so you can see all of that as well. All right, so as you look at the MCDUs over on the right one, you'll see the distance to top of descent 121. So let's push over. Next phase. All right, so the QNH. We'll go with 2991. And you got to put the decimal sign in. Temperature 18. And the winds 150 at 11. Yeah. Wanted to confirm with our strip off the ACARs. Transition level 18,000. MDA we said was 540. Okay, closing up, computing. And there we go, folks. They're showing us with an approach speed of 138. Hang on a second. Auto land. Of 138. Landing at 133, config 3. And we're going to use medium brakes. We're going to try our hardest to get off there at Fox, midway down. It's a, hang on a second. Slide that away. We're on a 11,000 foot runway, so we're going to try for it. Let's see what happens. And flight summary. Okay, we are on our way down to Montgomery at this time. So folks, there you go. That is the arrival brief into Destin. We'll be shooting the approach at 140 on the speeds. So for that descent path, let's see what that equates out to. 730 feet a minute. So we will do our best here. Okay, now want to make sure of something here before I get into this. Okay, we are on it. Now what I've done is pulled out our throttle here, and it doesn't show what I wanted it to show. Wouldn't you know? Hang on. Okay, as we look at it, we're kind of in an awkward angle here, but you can see how it's notched. Here's idle. There's where we are at the climb, cruise, maximum continuous flex, and then togas all the way to the top. And this is where we went to on takeoff. So basically you throttle up to 50% and then put it right in the notch you want to go. You don't ease it in like you do Boeing's. You just go 50%, let the electronic engine controls spool it up, punch it into flex, and it'll do the same thing, and you roll on down the runway. Toga is when runway's contaminated. You don't do a flex takeoff then. And then once you're airborne, it'll tell you level climb. Make sure things are set before you pull it back, just so you're on top of it. So, oh, that one's not really, didn't help either. I was trying to hope to find a better angle. But we're starting to see the clouds now as we drift in here closer to Montgomery and our top of descent. So let's punch outside. Take a look here. As we're getting closer and closer to this line of thunderstorms, and it seems like every day this week they've had this big line of storms come through. Although yesterday we weren't delayed here in mid-America from our flight. But yeah, it's been quite frequent here for the last few days of getting these big squall lines coming through. So looks like today is no different, so we will fly accordingly. Get you a good look at the nose here. All right, so we again welcome you aboard Flying with Mike. Hope you like what you've been seeing and hearing, and if you do, we'd like you to click follow. That way, one, it kind of lets us know you like our format and our what we're doing, and two, you want to see more, so that when we go live streaming, you get a notice saying, "Hey, Flying with Mike is going live between here and there." And sometimes we even give away the aircraft we're going to fly. So today we're, like I said, heading to Destin, Fort Walton Beach, Florida. And then from there, I don't know if we'll pop a second flight or not. We'll see. I do have something planned. Hang on just a second. Here in the Midwest, it's that good old season called allergy. We have 5 seasons, actually 6. We have winter, spring, allergy, summer, allergy, fall, winter. So, and some of y'all just have 4 seasons: winter, allergy, summer, allergy, winter. So, which the South is more known for. Spring, it's called allergy season. Fall, it's called allergy season. So, we're heading down there. It's thunderstorm season right now. So, as we progress over the Montgomery area here, we're going to be turning south to, and also probably beginning our descent. So, for now, we're going to run some music in the background and get ready to bring us in for the arrival. But if you have anything, join us. Click on the chat room. We'd love to welcome you aboard. Also down, as you can see, in the lower right-hand corner is our Discord channel. Haven't seen much activity today, but you're welcome aboard. That way we can converse over Discord also, as well as our chat room. And for those interested, with the settings we have put in, right now, ACARS is saying we have an availability of almost 12,000 feet of runway. We're required 6,385 feet of it. That's going to leave us about 4,000 feet at the end. So plenty of runway here, folks, for me to float down and try and get stopped. And for those of you that started with us in the beginning of the show today, know about what we're dealing with wind-wise. I'll bring that up again. We have an averaged wind across this of 276 degrees, so out of the west, at 80 knots as we go through the jet stream here. So that's also why we're running a little behind when we're flying. We got a pretty good headwind. Just hopping back into cockpit here, see where we're standing. 62 miles out of cruise. I'm sorry, out of top of descent. So, We'll just kind of ease our way along here. We're going to go ahead and pull this up to 40. Should be seeing a hockey stick up here soon to let us know where the top of descent is. When we hit that, we'll go into a managed descent. And I hope I do this right. I watched a video while at work yesterday. When you look at the MCP here, the what do we call it here in the Airbus world? Flight control unit? Yeah, flight control unit. I don't know if that's the right term or not. We're not seeing the dot because we're in cruise level flight. Up is managed, down is we handle it. So that's, if you see what I mean by up. Top half of the switch, you see the arrow pointing up. Top half pointing down. So pull out, push in. And I don't know, remember which one was which. We're going to hope for the best here. But we got 66 miles to hopefully figure it out. And hello, Hazer Stant 12. Welcome aboard. Hope you enjoy the flight. We're, like I said, about 40 miles out of top of descent. All right, so 50 miles to go. Let's take a look at one thing here. $1,700, okay. All right, so everything's dialed up right. I'm laggy. Okay, I really don't know how to correct that. So, but I appreciate the comments. That helps me out a lot. Because my stream information shows everything green, so I'm not sure where the lag is coming in at. Okay. Check one other possibility here. Okay. Okay, Montgomery is coming up on the nav display at this time. Mike Golf Mike. I already say Mike Golf Montgomery. Huh. Been the par for the course today. And quick look at the radar. That is looking better and better as we get closer to Destin. The reason I choose the Allegiant routes, they're less traveled. Hang on a second here. Get that a little lower in my ear. Hopefully it's not too loud for you all. But Allegiant goes into the less used airports out there. For instance, Mid-America Airport here in St. Louis. That's Scott Air Force Base, Mid-America, as opposed to the other airlines going to Lambert, which is the big airport here in St. Louis. They do the same in a lot of places. Took off from Concord in North Carolina. Charlotte's 30, 40, 50 miles south and west of it. So they choose these other airports to get in, get out quicker. Seattle, they don't go into Seattle. They go to Bellingham. It's one of the airports north of Seattle. So that gives you an idea. Although they do hit Los Angeles, Oakland, so they do hit some of the big ones, Fort Lauderdale. But on average, if you look for them, Newark, Baltimore, those, but on average, they go to the ones less used, get in, get out. And hopefully for the customer, quote, quote, cheaper. Hard to tell. So, and again, we took off from Concord, which most airline guys like me won't fly out of. Well, I just did. It was kind of fun. And I'm going into Eglin Air Force Base. which also has now airline service on the western portions of the airport. Okay, so as we're progressing up here to Montgomery, there's the hockey stick for the top of descent. So as we get closer here, I'm going to go ahead and put us in a descent for 1,700 feet to Suave. Let's see here, we're still at 40, so once we get within 20, I'll set us to 1,700 feet, and we'll begin our managed descent to the descent point at Eglin, or Destin-Fort Walton. And that gives us a chance to take a look at her one more time. And probably gonna kill the music once we start our descent here, just so it doesn't mess me up. But we do welcome you to the channel there, HazardStant12, and hope that you like what you've seen and you'll give us a try and follow us and join us at our next flight. Actually, we're going to go ahead and kill the music right now. Alright, so that way that's not going to be a problem as we begin our descent here. Okay, so let's set our altitude. Descent checks will begin here momentarily. So we're setting the altitude down to 1,700. Okay. QNH is set. ILS we don't have. Seatbelt signs are about to come on. Altitude setting is set in 1,700 feet. And once we hit 10 miles out, I'm going to go ahead and give this a try for a managed descent. That's my goal. Let me just go down here. 12 miles. Let's go ahead. There's the green dot. The green dot is the key to a managed descent from what I've been told. Keeping it within this yellow boundary means we're coming in at the correct angles and all speeds. It's getting a little steep. Let's see. We're in a managed descent. I can see it down here on the FMC here in the lower port. And it's not coming back. We'll keep an eye on that. All right, we got our baro set at 540 for our descent altitude. And we're coming up on 18,000. All right. And before some of you ask, we are on default weather. We're using what you get out of X-Plane, real world wise, that is. I don't have active sky on here. I don't have a lot of things on here that I'd like. But this is what active sky's real world weather is putting out. Not active sky, correction, X-Plane. So just so you're all aware. I do look forward to trying this out at the hurricane season coming up. We'll see how things look. Pull that out and set 2993. Okay, And let's go up here. I think I did them backwards. I sure did. Oh well. Everybody's in their seats now. Let's see here. QNH again, we'll set, which we have. Anti-ice not, well, no, it's not required. It's automatic. Runway lights will come on at 10,000. All the lights will come on, and then we'll set up for the arrival. And at 20 miles out, we will switch into approach mode. So it's kind of weird. The green dot's where it needs to be, but speed-wise, it seems like we're slow. Let me just do one thing here. Nope, spoilers are in. Just wanted to make sure I didn't accidentally trip them. So, again, I really hope you guys are liking the broadcast. We're doing the best we can. We've only been doing this for about 6-7 months now, and you know, there's some tricks we learned here and there, and some, well, we're stubborn to learn, I guess. I don't know. And yeah, I know. Doggone it. Hang on a second. Yep, I always do that. Hang on, that's with my, make sure it doesn't do it again to us. There we go. That gives me also a call. We're 50 miles out, 50. And now we're starting to get into the weather here. All right, we're going to go ahead and take over the speed and slow us down to 210. Landing lights are on. Ooh, nice little lightning behind us. Okay, stand by. Nice little lightning behind us. Okay, so let's see where we are. Sorry, folks, I was getting a clip of some of the stuff going on here. Okay, we're not going to worry. We're turning now. We're at Hilton. Okay, flaps out. Here we go to flaps 1. Gonna arm the speed brakes. Try to get her down below the S speed here. All right, so for brake fans going on. Okay, we're going to flaps 2. Which will slow us down to 140. Okay, so on final, brake flange, spoilers are armed. As soon as we turn, we're going to lower the gear. Go around altitude set, which was not yet. Got to get down to it first. Let me make sure my lights are on and not, they are. Okay. Going flaps 3. And we are now turning for the airport. Okay.
$2,500.
Okay, and we're going to hit 1700 here real quick. Missed approach. 1600. Okay, so we just keep it. Missed approach altitude set. Okay. Config 3 is our alignment for today. She's easing up here. Come out of managed descent. I don't have the airfield in sight yet, but I'm dropping to 10. We're going to come down to 800 feet. We are 1.5 miles out. Okay, 1 mile. Okay. Coming down to 800 feet a minute. Gear down. Okay. Okay, looks like we're starting to break out. We're looking for the runway. And we should be seeing Pappies on the left. I don't think. Oh, there's the runway. We have it in sight. Gear down 3. All right. Auto throttle off.
1,000.
Airplane's mine.
Flaps. Flaps. Too high. Too high. Approaching. 1, 2.
Still high, but we're
Too high. Too high.
12,000 feet of runway, so I'm not overly concerned.
500. 400.
Runway landing.
300. 200. 100. 50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
I don't know about you guys, but I really thought I kind of almost did an Osprey landing there, hovering. If I can't make... Oh, come on, airplane, don't be pulling like that. Let's go ahead and get on the brakes. Welcome to Destin, Florida, folks. And of course I didn't make any radio calls. Sorry about that, folks. Bad on my part. Okay, spoilers down. Flap levers up. Okay. Alright, so after landing, weather radar. First off, landing lights off. Okay, strobes to auto. Transponder, weather radar. Oh, gonna have to do it this way. And APU will turn on here as soon as we make the turn. Alright folks, now we gotta just taxi the half the length of the runway to the terminal. Okay. Finishing up APU master on. Drifting a little off our center line here. Okay. Waiting for flap open. There it is. APU start. And we'll turn to bleed on when it's available. Okay, so there we go, folks. We are now into Destin, Florida. We'll just kind of and if those two taxiways, D1, D2, they're all the way down here at the end. So alright, so we're just making our way down the taxiway. I don't like those blurs behind the engines, but I say that on everything here with Flight Factor, every flight. It's an annoying nuisance. See them right there? Very annoying. Hang let's get back on the center line. Okay. Try to slow her down just a bit. There's the taxiways where the tree line opens up. Alright folks, this was a great run. Let's take a look here. We landed at 184 feet a minute. And like I said, it felt like we were hovering. So I will definitely take that, and when we file this, Mac Air will enjoy it too. And over there is where we're heading. I love when that happens. Hang on a second, let me make sure something else didn't happen. Give her a quick stop here. Huh, interesting. Don't know what my laptop's doing, but it's got a mind sometimes of its own. There it is. Okay, so let's go ahead and get taxiing again. Sorry for that. Let's take a look here real quick at what we got ahead of us. Yeah, we'll take D2. We can turn the brake fans off. Okay, so here we come in, folks. Again, let's get her right on that center line as best we can. Alright, so we're going to go ahead, keep the taxi light on for the moment. Throttle's at idle. And to be honest, I don't know where these park. So we're gonna take you know what? I got a little crooked there, sorry. Let's go on down here to towards the end. Let's get her slowed a little bit more. Same time, we're going to turn the taxi lights off. And let's take a look here. We're going to take this. We're going to take that middle one. Like I said, I don't know if this is true life or not. Okay. All right, we're going to take this gate, whatever it is. Looks like gate 4, maybe. And we don't have the animated jetways, so we'll just be coming in. Okay, so let's hop up in here. Let's make sure those lights are off. Go ahead and put the strobes off right now. Okay, so parking brake set. Engine levers to idle. And doors open with the engines running. That's funny. Funny checklist, actually. No, we're gonna APU bleed is available. Make sure the bleed is on. Okay, and we're gonna go ahead and shut down. All right, engines are shut down. Service chocks in. Let's take a look outside. All right, chocks are in. Power cart's hooked up. So let's go on to interior power. Go ahead and kill the APU. All right, so we are now here in Destin. The big thing we'll do is call, we don't want stairs, my bad. So when the jetway would come up, it'd come right to the plane. All right, folks, there you go. We just got a few other things to turn off here, like the beacons and the wing lights. Okay, fuel pumps. And the brake fan's off. The aviators, we'll go ahead and turn them off. Packs are set, APU is off, batteries are set. We are in the in-between mode, folks. So there you have it. Let's file our ACARS report. Stop and file. There they are. The baggage carts are in place. And folks, that is the end of this flight. All right, what we're going to try and do here, folks, is we're going to try and reset here and reset some systems here. We'll come back here momentarily, and we're going to try and fly from here over to Houston Lobby Airport. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, so bear with me as we get things changed up and reset, and we'll be back momentarily. Okay folks, what I'm going to do is go offline here for a few minutes, get this flight planned, and what we're going to be doing is